Uh, all right, you guys. Today is, what is today? January 18th, 2023. Coming to you guys from Los Angeles. It's actually the day before my last day. Tomorrow I'm finally cutting this terrible hair. The pink just did not last. I really thought it was cute while the pink was still in the hair, but now this grown-out boy band circa 1990s hairstyle is not doing it for me. Yeah, I don't know. Today I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit because I've been talking to, actually I would say I have a good 5 or 6 YouTube subscribers turn people I talk to on a regular basis now, and talking with them and getting to know them a little bit better. And it's like one of the questions I feel I get a lot from my subscribers and my family, not so much my friends anymore because they know better, is this whole, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? You know, I already mentioned on my YouTube channel that I think this chapter is pretty much almost done. I do still want to try for Australia, but after that, I just can't anymore. And, you know, I'm really trying to figure out a way. I just want to have purpose, you know. And I was talking with my friend Ben, who also lives here. You guys might know him. I think he's been in some of my videos. We worked together in Japan and in Saudi Arabia. We worked together. And I was talking with him about it, and I was like, I think one of the greatest lies I feel I was told, and I've told you guys that I had like such an awakening around 2015, where I just kind of was like, God, there's so much that, especially because I was more left at that time, I feel like the left, so many things the left has lied to me about. And especially the gay left, the gay community, the left people in my community. Like, I just feel like I've been really cheated and lied to by this community a lot about what the purpose and the sense of life is and what makes a good life and how to be happy. And one of those things, I think, is, like I've mentioned this before on my channel quite a bit actually, is about how gay men are constantly encouraged to be as slutty and promiscuous as they can, to value random hookups more than lasting relationships. There's also the concept of, like, you can build your own family, which to some degree I believe in, but I'm sorry to be like a negative Nancy. The family you build, well, in my opinion, will never be the family that your family, right? Like, they can be very similar. They can be more important to you. I'm not saying they can't, but there's something about a relationship with your parents or your siblings, which I understand for a lot of gay people just isn't possible, just because of the way the parents maybe think and feel about them as a gay person. But I don't. What I'm trying to say is, like, I think, right, like, one of my biggest fears throughout my whole 20s was to be that lonely old gay man at the club dancing with his shirt off, probably with like huge nipple piercings and fetish gear. And like everybody in the club is kind of like, ugh, ew, ew, ew. Like, look at that pathetic old gay guy. You know, like, he doesn't have anyone. He spent his entire youth just going from one guy to the next, and now all of a sudden he wakes up, he's 55 years old, and he's the gay guy that nobody wants to have anything to do with. And he has to, like, pathetically beg and plead for anybody to go home with him, right? And I know all of you guys know who I'm talking about, because you guys have all seen this man. And I'm not there yet, but I'm getting older. I'm getting fatter. I'm getting more set in my ways, you know, and I can't help but so much feel, again, just feel cheated by the left and the gay left that were telling me, it was like, you're enough. You're enough by yourself. You don't need nobody else. And I think this is like I understand why they made this message, because I think there was a lot of people who were alone. And again, like I always say with the left, it's kind of like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think that's like the perfect definition of the left, right? I mean, I think all these things definitely come from a good place in the left. They're kind of like, oh, look at these, sad old people. They don't have anyone. Well, we're going to tell them it's like, you're good enough on your own, and I don't know if I just don't know if I believe any of these things anymore. I have such a good life, but I'm at an age now where I can't help but just be a downer. I'm sorry, like, to be such a downer for you guys, but I'm just like, what is the point? What is the effing point? So, like, I so much want there to be meaning for my life, especially at this point in my life. Like, I'm just so craving meaning, and I feel like I was so sold this idea of YOLO and just engage in anything that you think feels nice and is fun. Whatever, just give into your most base nature. Sleep with everyone, and then of course, no one tells you that the good guys or the good girls, they're not interested in the town bicycle, nobody tells you that nobody's interested in you after you've become a totally washed up lush and you've done it all and seen everything, and that once you've done everything and seen everything, then you sit around and you go like, oh, okay, well, now what? Now I'm this 35-year-old 45-year-old, 55-year-old person, and I've done everything 3 times around, but I've never really worked on my character and my interpersonal skills, and nobody would want to be interested in dating with me long time, and I just feel so cheated when it comes to this. And I don't think that, I'm not saying everybody will only be happy in a relationship, but to have some kind of sense of purpose and meaning in your life. And again, I don't think for everybody that even has to mean having children, but when I was talking with my friend Ben, I was like, I can't help but feel like, as blessed as my life is, I really think I probably would be mentally in a happier place if I would have had children and having purpose alone through that. I have to also tell you guys, like, something I struggle with so much these days. I'm really scared when this chapter of my life is over. I mean, I can honestly say that I can tell I'm physically exhausted. And, I've talked a little bit about, like, having the medical condition I do, which is also part of the reason why I just can't do this anymore. And I am getting older, and, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know how many viewers I have that are under 35, but, like, for me at least, when I hit 35, I started noticing a lot of things. Just like, you can't just jump out of bed anymore. You can't just sit down and get up anymore. Like, you're kind of like, oh, rain's coming. And I have to honestly say, as beautiful and amazing as my life has been, like, with every passing day, more and more, I'm like, okay, but what for what? I feel like this is the same video I've made like 3 or 4 times already, and you guys are probably like, oh my god, he's talking about this again. I'm sorry if this is like a real downer for you guys and you're kind of like, oh god, stop talking about this over and over. But there's just, these two things are just constantly going through my mind right now. On the one hand, the fact that something I've always tried to do with my channel, I've never tried so much to be like the popular person, or like, I definitely know what kind of videos on YouTube make you the kind of channel that gets a lot of views, and and I could have done all those things. But for me, it was always more about just being honest with you guys and really saying what I think in the long run will help people. And something I've always wanted from my channel is, especially for younger gay men, I mean, I feel like I probably have straight viewers and women viewers, but I feel I was done so dirty by the gay community, in terms of when I was young, all of them only caring about me for my looks, and at the time I would say nice body. I've never had like the really desired body by gay men, but I was like slender. I was like a twink. Encouraged to sleep around. Nobody cared about my mind or my thought. It was just about looking good. Having to go to the gym and the fashions, all this kind of stuff. The way people interacted with each other, everybody was just like a useless piece of meat. Then, the moment you gain a little weight, people are like, oh, you're gaining a little weight, like, ugh, and gross, and all this kind of, and the competitiveness, and how proud they are for things like, oh my god, I've slept with 60 men, I've slept with 80 men, oh my god, you can just be so proud of how many men are willing to give you dick, and just on every level, on every level, I feel like the gay community has been very toxic. I can't really think of anything that I've taken away from the gay community that is in the long run positive. Yeah, they're kind of like, oh yeah, be proud of your body, be proud of your looks, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, if you're what is by their definition young and sexy, and the moment you're not, then it's like you're invisible, right? You're not encouraged to have character. You're not encouraged to grow older and wiser. You're not encouraged to be a mentor, and having fallen for all these things, and now being at an age where I'm just kind of like, I'm not that far away in my head from being that pathetic gay man at the club trying to dance with all the young boys. I mean, I don't go to the gay clubs anymore. But as hard as I've even worked at it, like, how many gay cliches even apply to me? How much to this day I still crave validation from other gay men telling me that they think I'm attractive or fuckable. I think that was one of the reasons why I reacted so visceral to that one subscriber telling me like, ooh, you better watch your weight because, you might lose some fuckability points, right? It's like, I've worked so hard and been so cognizant of all of these negative and toxic influences that I've received from the gay community over the years. But I can't help but, like, I just see myself now, even having worked so hard and, like, having created this channel to talk to other gay young men and tell them, like, look, don't repeat the mistakes I made. I made so many mistakes. I fell for the wrong guys. I cared about the wrong things. I cared about the wrong things in me, in terms of my value and in terms of the things that are in the long run important. And even though I feel like I'm somebody who's really always tried really hard to not be part of that and not be part of that brainwashing and this really backhanded compliment way that gay men are to each other in terms of our values and such in our community, even I still feel like so much of my own personal path has followed what is the cliche path of gay men. Think right now, I want you guys to think, how many gay men do you know, let's say over 35, that are either single and are, what is that called? Perpetually single. You know, they have a couple of like short relationships and then break up, short relationship, maybe not even dating anyone, and or they're in open relationships. I have a feeling it'll be almost all of them. And so for me, I know you guys, a lot of people are like, that's so mean. I don't see a big distinction between an open relationship and being single. I mean, to me, it's actually exactly the same. I don't, you're with somebody and you sleep with them, but then you go and sleep with other people. Okay, you might, like your roommates who have sex on the side, right? So like, and to me, it all comes back down to this idea that the gay community, at least on a shallow level, we like to pretend that we want to instill in the other people in our community a sense of self-worth, but we don't at all. Like, if we gave them a sense of self-worth, we would be like, I deserve to have somebody who will respect me and love me on a monogamy level, who knows that sleeping with me is something special, and vice versa. I will do the same thing for them, because my body and my sexuality is something that is very special, and I shouldn't have to share that with everybody. And I should work on my character, and I should work on being a good person and being a better friend, and not being the kind of friend who's like, well, I think your boyfriend's cute, and, well, I'm going to fuck him on the side. You know, whatever. You know, we're gay men. That's just how men are. That's just how men are. Just, you know, being a better friend, being a better boyfriend, being a better husband, you know. I just feel so cheated, and I just don't want that for other gay men who are still in their teens and in their 20s. And, you know, if you're right there where I feel like, was that fork in the road, and you have the choice of which path you're going to go down. And I just so want to, I just so want gay men to know their real self-worth, and to know that your real self-worth is actually in your personality, in your character, in your talents, you know. And wanting to be with somebody long-term and monogamously is actually a really beautiful thing. We've made it seem so conservative and old-fashioned and monogamy and but it's like, you are worth those things. And I wish somebody, when I was in my early 20s, would have come to me and been like, you know what, you're worth it. You are worth somebody. And I've had a couple of good relationships with people, and I still talk about that Greek guy. Like, I totally messed that up. Some of the other ones were mutual breakups. But, like, now I'm even going back and going, like, at the time I just thought, like, I still have so much time. I'm still so young. I still have so many other men to sleep with. I still have so many other experiences to make, right? And I just think that's such a terrible thing to give people, like, to put that in their head. When I just wish I would have had somebody who would have been like, you know what, you've got a good guy. You've got a good man right there. Like, work on it. It's okay to make some sacrifices. It's okay to take away a little bit of the you for the sake of the, well, you in plural, or the we, right? And I really think, I really truly believe I would be happier. I think I would be happier right now if it, like, let's say, especially with that Greek guy, because that was probably one of the best relationships I have ever been in. If I had just been in a different mental space, I think my life, and I don't have a bad life. I don't want to, like, I always know people are like, yeah, you travel the world, like, stop complaining. I do have a very good life, but I don't know. I do really think there's something to having a husband or a wife to come home to having children to raise, to have that sense of purpose and meaning. I just feel so cheated. I don't know. I just feel so cheated. And it's something I'm really struggling to come to terms with. Like, I just, you know, I want to do like a Greta Thunberg, like, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you, gay community? You know, like these lies that you spread. And I would like a good man. I would like another chance. I do. I really would. I would really like another chance.